It's the first Sunday of the NBA season, so who do we stream in to win our week? Michael Bolton has some answers.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and I would say hi to Buddy Hield's son. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Thank you also for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free and we're available on all platforms. Sunday streaming shows usually look a little bit different to the ones during the week. And honestly, the ones during the week, I think there's a lot of information in the ones that I do during the week. It takes a long time to prepare those shows, and they often have just very small viewership in comparison to other shows. So I'm always debating, like, how can I make those shows snap quicker? So I've got more time in my day to do other things, and also so it benefits people in a better way. So I'm still debating on how I'm going to approach those weekly or those daily preview shows during the week. Because again, I think that there's just something a little bit off with it. So I'm open to suggestions if you want to chuck them out there. What we do in this Sunday show is we just get banged straight into it. Points leagues, category leagues, individual categories, guys that we target. We've got a little bit of a new wrinkle that we're going to chuck in at the end as well. So we might as well just get in and just quickly, as we start, just a quick little schedule note, because we did the whole week 2 scheduled preview show earlier today, so you can get all the details there. But if you want to get off to a start for week 2, you want to take guys who play Sunday and guys who play Tuesday, because Monday's got 11 games on. So I've got a bunch of guys here. If you use one of your ads on Sunday to end this week, you can then get a head start with an extra game on Tuesday. And these are 5 names of players who do that. Chris Middleton, Ryan Rollins, Cole Anthony, the 2 replacements for Kevin Porter Jr., the big cock, Ryan Kalkbrenner. Now you can throw Moussa Diabate in there as well if you want to do it. And obviously, we're talking Bucks guys here, we're talking Wizards guys here, and we're talking Miami Heat players here, because at the moment, Triple H, Jaime Jaquez Jr. is also, he's playing well. He's playing a lot of minutes. Now you might look at Jovic if he's available. You might look at Drew Smith. In deeper leagues, Davion Mitchell should just be rostered, so should Superman Kal-El Ware. But these teams, Washington, Milwaukee, Charlotte, Miami, there is value in them playing Sunday and playing on Tuesday, and that gives you a little bit of a leg up heading into next week. So what about streaming? We are going to start by talking points league streaming. I'm going to give you I'm going to give you 10 names for Yahoo. I'm going to give you 10 names for ESPN points leagues as well. The first batch of names on Yahoo are all going to be players who are under 35% rostered. The second 5, and some in the first 5 will be as well, but the second 5 are going to be guys under 20% rostered, which should cover all of you double onyx, diamond, titanium, platinum, although there's not many double onyx, titanium, platinum guys who play points leagues. They're usually the category snobs. I'm the category snob. But we still talk a lot of points leagues on here because we have to. Because it's important to do that, to get people involved and interested in fantasy. Yahoo points. Paul Washington Jr. What is going on? Why is his number so low? I understand that he wasn't drafted in a lot of spots for a reason that we just didn't think that D'Angelo Russell would not play, and it would be all Cooper Flagg at point guard and then Najee Marshall, whatever they're doing. Right, but Washington played 40 minutes last game. He just is a must-add everywhere. But he's available in 65%, so let's have a look. Chrissy Middleton is going to blow up at some point. And the very similar things that I say about Michael Porter and Cam Thomas apply to Middleton. Now, Porter and Thomas are better. Very much better. But the difference between them is you had to take Porter in the 60s in some drafts. Or somebody did. Or Thomas in the 70s. And Middleton, he's sitting on the wire now. And all 3 of them are probably just not going to play. Or play enough in February, March, April. So you use Middleton now, and we see what happens. Luke Cornett. Now, last game, he played 35 minutes. It was overtime. That counts. Wemby fouled out. That's important. But we saw them using a lot of Luke Cornett double big lineups with Wemby in the preseason. And in game 1, we didn't see much Cornett because he got into foul trouble. So I'm pretty interested in what Cornett is doing from a playing time perspective, especially while Jeremy Sohan is out. Ryan Rollins is on this list as well, and Dennis Schroeder does just slide under the 65% available marker that I've got on Yahoo points leagues. They're still without Keegan Murray and Nick Clifford. Their backcourt is still incredibly chockers, but he's the one, for whatever reason, is getting the bulk of the minutes. I love giving the opportunity to give my fourth best guard the most minutes. That's Levine unfair. He's the best guard and he gets the most minutes. But Schroeder's getting the next when you've got Monk and Alice there, and then Westbrook, who's not the best, in that group as well. But anyway, Schroeder is an option there. When you look at the deeper options here for Yahoo points leagues, I've got another 5 names. These are all available in under 20%, or all available in over 80% of leagues. Cole Anthony was awesome in the first game without Kevin Porter. You know that I have liked Cole and I have wanted him to find a starting point guard role. He doesn't have one yet, but it's close enough at the moment. So we like using him at the very least for streaming for the Sunday-Tuesday combo as well, but maybe he maintains something. Someone got so angry at me that I said that I would have started Cole Anthony over Kevin Porter. Nah, man, Porter's like awesome. He's a number one option on a good team. Different Kevin Porters exist, I guess. Shout out to the watcher for the different timelines. What are we talking about? Anyway, a name you are going to hear a lot on today's show, and maybe I say it wrong a couple of times, but Sam Robinson, also known as Duncan Robinson. We're going to talk about him a lot. The Pistons don't have Jaden Ivey. Last game, Dracaris Levert was out. Robinson was terrible in game 1. He was very good in game 2. But he's going to be talked about a lot because the minutes are going to be very high. Najee Marshall is a Yahoo Points streamer. Jaime Jaquez Jr. is there as well. And Slammin' Sammy Merrill. Big days for the Sams as a good, deeper Yahoo Points League stream for ESPN points. We'll start again with the ESPN. I'm going to use ESPN roster percentages here. Wish me luck. Also, by the way, Yahoo, apparently they have reversed their decision to make auto start for the rest of the week a paywall decision. Good. Bullying works. Now, does my bullying of ESPN works? Where are they going to fix the Yegor Dioman mix-up? Are they going to fix the Ryan Nembhard or Dylan Cardwell absences? We'll see whether that bullying works, but the Yahoo bullying worked. Good. It should. ESPN points streaming, we're doing under 35% rostered here to start things off. PJ's still available. Chris Middleton, Luke Cornett, Ryan Rollins, and Derek Lively's 33% rostered on ESPN. ESPN's pre-ranks for Dallas had Daniel Gafford in the 60s, had PJ Washington in the 60s, had D'Angelo Russell in the 70s. Now, the PJ one might end up okay, but they had Klay Thompson at 106. Their Mavericks rankings were all over the shop. So I think that's largely why Lively is available. But if he is available, he's at least a stream. Now, he's not that good in points leagues. So I wouldn't say that he's a must-roster guy, but there's enough stream value there for him. And then we go to some deeper league guys for ESPN points leagues. These are all players that are under 20% again. The two Sams, Duncan Robinson and Sam Merrill. Cole Anthony is there too. Again, we talked about him. The Mpitsu, Rui Hachimura, and Lonzo Ball is a solid option for deeper leagues under 20% rostered over on ESPN. We'll come back for category leagues. We'll start off the category leagues after this. Today's episode is brought to you by Monarch. Most of us can't name all of our financial accounts. We don't know what they're worth. Our 401ks, our savings, our investments. Not called 401ks here, by the way. It's called superannuation. I don't know why. It just is. Anyway, that means if you don't know those things, it means you leave money on the table. That is why you should start looking at using Monarch, an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. It's easy to do. You can share it up with your partner and say, hey, what are all these charges? How many Labubus are you buying? What's going on? Or maybe they say that to you. Whatever. Track it, share it with your financial advisors, put all that stuff in there, seal the information, present it clearly. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarch.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarch.com, not the butterfly, but Monarch. Monarch.com, code LOCKEDONNBA for half off your first year. Today's episode is also brought to you by Game Time, and the basketball season is here, obviously. And you want tickets to see your favorite team, your favorite player, whatever it is. Get the tickets, but it's a pain sometimes. It's not a pain now because Game Time exists. You can jump right in there and get the tickets without the hassle of random fees or queues or any of that stuff. Game Time is the great way to score amazing NBA tickets. You can see exactly what your view from that seat looks like in the Game Time app as well before you even buy the tickets. And what you see on the screen is what you pay for. You don't get any surprise fees at the end. So take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. The code is LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Now, we should just go in and talk streaming for category leagues. Go. I'm going to look at this with the major categories. I was going to do a joke, but I do this joke a lot. I don't think I'm going to do it. No, I'm not going to do it today. But I was going to say, if you want to stream turnovers, Jason Tatum, DeJounte Murray, Kyrie Irving will be a good stream to win turnovers this week. Damian Lillard and Tyrese Halliburton, probably your top 5 turnover streams. I did the joke anyway. Let's talk about points. Who are we streaming in for points? Now, I wanted to make sure that I had shallower guys plus deeper guys, and it worked out that way. So who are the top 5 guys that I think are going to cover majority of availability? Now, I don't know your league. I don't know who's available. So therefore, these tasks are always difficult because I might say these names, you go, but what about? Yeah, because I don't know. I've got to have certain cutoffs as to what I'm talking about. These are all, according to Basketball Monsters, advanced roster percentage number, 40% or lower in terms of roster percentages. It begins Duncan Robinson, Diempitsu, Rui Hachimura, Japanese Harrison Barnes, Cole Anthony, Slammin' Sammy Merrill, and Najee Marshall. So an array of different availabilities and upsides. You've got 2 guys there in Robinson and Hachimura who almost certainly play over 30 minutes. You've got Merrill, who's going to push close to 30. You've got Anthony, who's going to push close to 30. You've got Najee, who's probably a mid-20s minutes guy. So that's good volume that's going to be available off that waiver wire for you. In terms of streaming in 3-pointers, well, you'll be stunned to know that Duncan Robinson's on the list. And so is Sam Merrill. Yeah, they're going to come up a lot. Julian Champagnie, Gabe Vincent, and then another honorary Sam, AJ Green. AJ Green is starting. He's not playing 30 minutes like Merrill or like Robinson, but Robinson, Merrill, Green easily can hit 6 threes. Champagnie's more of a 4 threes guy. Vincent's more of a 4 threes guy. Or 3 threes. Vincent might score 9 points. They're all threes. So you can look at his other stuff and go, this is yuck. And I agree. But if you're just looking for threes, that's what he's going to do. And his minutes have been higher than I anticipated. Let's look at some big man stuff now. Let's go to rebounds. Luke Cornett. Marvin Bagley III. Day'Ron Sharpe. Jaime Jaquez Jr. and Najee Marshall. Now, Jaquez is playing just a lot of minutes. He's been really interesting. He was terrible last season. He's been very good so far. I think the shooting is going to drop off. But the fact that his minutes are up, it's intriguing, and it should be intriguing to you. Now let's take a look at some blocks streamers. Another one where there's going to be some repeat names here, obviously. Luke Cornett. Day'Ron Sharpe. He's only playing like 15 minutes or so, but 2 blocks. Drew Eubanks. Noah Clowney, who's not playing well, but again, blocks upside. And then if you're looking for someone who does a little bit of the weird combos, Julian Champagnie. He's also a really good shot blocker in San Antonio. Now let's go to some guard specific or not specific, more likely stats. Assists. Cole Anthony. He's been very good at it. Russell Westbrook still gets assists. This is like the unk off. Chris Paul. Lonzo Ball's knees, they're pretty unk. And then Jaime Jaquez, again, a name. When you see the name, just keep repeating Duncan Robinson, Jaime Jaquez. Just remember those. Luke Cornett. A lot of repetition names. In terms of steals, who else can we look at as a steals stream guy? This is where these guys become very much specialists. Chris Dunn's playing like 22, 23 minutes a night. Available almost everywhere. But he's key. Bradley Beal's playing 20 minutes a night. Dunn also gets the advantage of playing Sunday and Tuesday. And he's getting steals. Matisse Thybulle doesn't do anything else. But if you're on Sunday and you're going, I need some desperation things. If someone gets 1 steal, that's nice, that's cool. But Thybulle can just get 5. Dunn can get 5. Lonzo can get you 3. Marcus Smart can get you 4. And then the other name at the bottom there, again, it's the King of Kings, Triple H, Jaime Jaquez. Now, he's not going to get you 4 or 5. I think he's averaging 2 a game, though, this season. But when you add his other little things in, this is all going to be dependent. This is the nuance in fantasy basketball. It's why I can't really hold your hand through everything. I can talk and I can pontificate and discuss, but I can't do, you add this player and drop this player and you win, because it doesn't work that way. Because you might be like, I need some out-of-position rebounds, but a guy that gets assists and he steals a little bit as well, and he's getting good minutes, and that's Jaime Jaquez. We go, I just need steals, man, and then Matisse Thybulle's that. But I can't tell you which one is better for you, because I don't know what your team is. I don't know what your matchup is. That's where the non-hand... That's why I don't try to make this show hand-holdy. I don't try to be like, I pick this guy right now at this point, and this is what you do. It's pointless stuff, I think, to do it that way. We'll come back and look at percentages and a couple other little sneaky things that I'm going to do. They're not that sneaky because you'll see them in a second and you'll realize they're not that sneaky. Today's episode is brought to you by the big fellas over at FanDuel. The NBA season is here. It's tipped off. We've had excellent games. And now, with FanDuel, they've got an offer that you're not going to want to miss. With FanDuel, you can get in there, place a $5 bet, and if you are a new customer and it wins, you get $300 in bonus bets. You can do it live in the game. You see something developing halftime, you go, oh, I'm going to chuck a few little live bets on here, and you can actually combine them into a same-game parlay as well. But you can also go long-term and look at futures. But what is important to get those bonus bets is just looking and getting that $5 bet in, winning it, and then you got the $300 to play with. And that is going to be the key. So get involved. Go to FanDuel.com, download the FanDuel app, and get started. Place your $5 bet, win your $300 with FanDuel. And don't forget to gamble responsibly. So let's sneak in now and take a look at percentages, which do account for volume. You're not going to find gigantic volume players on the waiver wire, so they can be hard categories to influence off the wire, just because of the lack of volume to change your entire week. Now, field goal percentage is a category that during the week, just go check your in categories, go check your field goal percentage or go check your free throw percentage. Or more importantly, on the site, it'll total up your field goals made, field goals attempted. Have a look at the difference in field goal attempts versus free throw attempts. Your denominator on both those percentages is like 2.5 times larger usually. I think it's 2.5 times larger for field goal percentage than free throw percentage. Meaning, what that means, when you have the larger denominator or the smaller denominator, that the ability to influence the free throw percentage category is larger. It's easier to influence with a smaller denominator. That's why free throw percentage is such a variable category year on year, but also week on week. So a 2 of 2 from the line has way more influence than a 2 of 2 from the field. Okay? Let's look at the field goal percentage streams. Top 5 guys here. Luke Cornett. You will say, why would you talk about Isaac Jones? Well, he did start last game for Sacramento. No idea if he will. But if he does, he might only take 5 or 6 attempts. Let's say it takes 5 attempts. He could easily hit 4 of them. Easily. And that might... Look, you're not going to find 15 field goal attempt players usually on your waiver wire. Marvin Bagley III is there. Drew Eubanks, the exact same story as Jones. Backup minutes, might go 3 of 4, 4 of 5. Just giving you those little bumps. Because also the thing with percentages is, you might say, yeah, but look, my opponent's ahead of me by a decent amount. Is 4 of 5 going to make a difference? If your opponent dies and there's nothing, knock on wood, he doesn't, and doesn't set a lineup, then it's hard to do. But remember, percentages go backwards. Everything else is an accumulative stat. So you can't go backwards in assists. Your opponent isn't going to go from 40 assists to 38. If you bump your field goals through 2, 3 or 4 shooters or 4 or 5 shooters, and your opponent has one of his guys go 1 of 10, well, you're double ending it. In fact, you might be double banging. You're going up, he's coming down, you wave in the middle. That's the difference on percentages and why they can swing as much as they do. Because it is double-ended. It's a double barrel. It's got a free throw percentage. Same story, of course, with free throw percentage. Who are some stream options to influence this category? It's not easy to find attempts. Duncan Robinson might only take 2, but he's probably not missing any of them. Max Christie played 30 minutes last game. Will he do it again? I don't know. But 3 attempts, 2 attempts. Julian Champagny, a starter, 30 minutes. You get minutes, you're more likely to get free throw attempts. Cole Anthony, and then this is a weird one. Again, another crossover between bigs and smalls. Noah Clowney has turned into an excellent free throw shooter. He might only take 2. He might only take 1. But he might get you 5 rebounds and a block and go 2 of 2 from the line, which is not an easy combination to get. Now, the other thing that I did want to talk about, in the preseason, we did things, and a lot of people didn't like it. Some did, but because I didn't do traditional positional tiers, because I do think there is a lack of utility in that, because what are positions? Like, what is the point of positions in a lot of different sort of discussions, and there's so much overlap with multi-positions. So I wanted to do things by, here are your studs that give you over or above average contributions in a standard league in like 5 categories. And then we looked at combinations of other things. Who are the guys here who give you 3 in the guard builds or the percentages or the big man builds or whatever it is, right? Just to give you sort of ideas or tierings of guys for very specialisty, specific type of things. So at the end of this weekly, or not weekly, Sunday streaming show, I wanted to attack it in a slightly different way. You tell me what you think. I looked at it as a big builds. Who are some guys that overall, when you look at their value in rebounds, blocks, and field goal percentage, but also you'll know that if you do a big man build, the category that it often comes down to is steals. It's not traditionally a big man stat, but it is one of those ones that does correlate relatively evenly amongst big stats and small stats, even though you don't think that's always going to be the case. But that is usually the category where it's a swing category. So who can you get to help you if you've got a big man build team? They're not complicated to find. Luke Cornett, Jaime Jaquez, Dayron Sharp, Marvin Bagley, he's someone, and Derek Jones, who's been starting for the Clippers, and high field goal percentage guy, can get a steal, can get a block, 4 or 5 rebounds. So of course, the next thing I'm going to do is talk about guards. Points, threes, assists, steals, free throws. Who are the guys that can help you the most in that guard build? Duncan Robinson, Sam Merrill, Cole Anthony, Lonzo Ball, and Julian Bubbles Champagny. All of these are 40% or below rostered on Basketball Monster's advanced roster percentage metric. And that, you legends, is the daily look ahead for Sunday. I hope you enjoyed the format. If you've got any ideas for weekly, the everyday preview show, let me know, because I am still looking to do things differently or better. Subscribe, thumb up, comments. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.